Hello there, and welcome back to Corey Loses for the continuation of our Thrawn's Revenge 3.2 preview playthrough as the Hapes Consortium. In the first episode, we took Contrim, we took Obersky, and we sent Tachum's fleet over Commodore. But today, we're going to keep trying to expand just a little bit, while also getting our eyes set on our economy. So we should probably get some tax agencies on some of these planets that we have. So let's start with getting there. And do we have one on Hapes already? We don't. So I think having one on most of these core Hapen planets is probably the way to go. And we'll also sell our ion cannon on Relifon, because we don't need that anymore. And get a mine there as well, or a tax agency there as well. So we will probably need to build some house headquarters or basically land grants on Obersky and Contrim. But the way the Hapens basically work, where most factions have one government office type, they have like the Moth Palace or whatever. For the Hapens, because of their house influence here, where you get influence if you build on land or a shipyard belonging to one of the other royal houses, you can either do that with the shipyards, which we kind of talked about in the first episode, but you can also do that with the ground ones, which we are talking about right now. So we'll try to pick one to focus on a little bit more for now, maybe all gray. This impacts your ability to buy the minor hero commanders, but it'll also tie into some other stuff in the future. Right now, it is not going to be the most useful for us to buy the straight up royal house, but that will definitely change by release. But as you see throughout this campaign, it'll be something that we probably don't do as much as you might by release. So let's get our ground forces over here. It is supposed to be a fairly infantry-focused faction. So there's basically, from the field bases, you get the infantry from different houses, and some of those will be buildable under certain conditions as well. But let's start putting our fleet together over in this direction, or a fleet together over Contrim, so we don't lose it. And we'll take our speeders into Commodore. Let's see what this is going to be like to invade. The Empire just took Wayland, so maybe we could take Mercure and Wayland before they end up too built up. I don't want to expand too much, because it's going to be not ideal. But because we want to build up our own defenses and our economy before we get too spread out. But I think if we can take Mercure and Wayland, then that wouldn't be terrible. At least Mercure. Because if the Empire's sitting on Wayland, that means that Zinj won't attack us. But let's take Commodore. We'll get our army down here, and we'll leave at least most of the army, or part of the army, until we can get an ion cannon built. Or an ion cannon most of the way built, because we do want to have a nice advantage if we're going to be fighting the Empire. So let's get a transport in, an air transport. Let's get some other vehicles.
It is about time. Ready.
And we'll start walking down to that. But we want the transport so we can go down to this landing zone here. So in the first episode, I had turned off the hardware mouse thing, but I turned it back on for this because I like having the screen in the middle of the screen, and I can't move it when it's hardware mouse is enabled. This is something that we do need to fix on the rig. So normally you have a bone sticking out of the unit to get the garrisons in, which we currently don't have, so it's a little bit finicky. But that is something that is going to be on the list of stuff to have to fix. Hapen units on the ground right now are a little bit flighty overall. That will be one of the focuses of their testing as we go throughout the rest of the release. But that should be fine. Actually, let's go deliver the other one over here.
What is it, Commander?
Okay, we don't have enough money to do any turrets or any field bases. But we can try to at least force stuff off. I want to try to protect our infantry a little bit. Because the ATSTs are going to be a problem for that. Okay, let's get the sensor. We got the sensor. You over there. And we can actually bring in some more of everything. I don't think there was that much on the ground here. But, alright. It'll be nice if we can just reconfigure a little bit. Alright, their infantry are down. Cool. Getting it. Alright, let's back off some of these so that we can get our shields back. One of the strengths of the Hapens on ground that we haven't really been able to explore too much, but that we're, I guess, technically kind of seeing now, even though it doesn't really count, is that all of their vehicles, as you've probably noticed, are hover vehicles. So the planets with a lot of water paths, which is something we are trying to get our maps to go more into as different passability areas. The Hapens are going to have more flexibility there than some of the factions that have less access to hover vehicles or less variety in that. Whereas for the Hapens, it's kind of just, it almost ends up being a normal passability for them. Like the options there are basically steep for flying stuff, which will bring down our speeders because we haven't seen those yet. There's water passability for hovercraft, and there's like infantry only for infantry and small walkers. Alright, you can start shelling the planetary shield to allow us to have our orbital bombardment again. You don't get to go anywhere near our infantry. And I'm gonna try to pull you back, you back. Alright. Our cluster here might not work as well once we have higher numbers of enemies to fight, but they don't have... Oh, nope, sorry. Get out. You get out there, you get out there. Okay. So, move those squads up a bit. And up there. Rip.
I'm here.
I should have put in Levet, but let's send our little speeders out. So these guys have an AV blaster and a concussion grenade. I haven't played around too much with the concussion grenade yet, so it may need some changes to its targeting, because that can sometimes be a little bit finicky to use. But we'll see how... it'll at least be helpful for taking out some of these ATSTs. But they do have an AA turret in there. Right, back off. And... okay, we can actually bombard this. All that effort I went to earlier to protect my my infantry from the ATSTs, and I just abandoned it. Like, as much as I want to leave the ground force here to deter attacks from the Empire on Commodore, I do probably want to take Mercure before they can get anything built onto it. So maybe we'll split up the army a little bit. We don't need everything going to Commodore, or to Mercure. back out of there. Oh. Even further. There you go. Now you can shoot at that. Alright. That should be it. Once that AA turret's done. Unfortunately, we didn't get much use out of the speeders, because the only area that was left once we brought them in was, or into the actual battle, had an AA turret near it. There we go. That is Commodore. I will probably save between the battles here. Did lose a house guard company. But let's save you with Hapes 2. Okay, so we will move out at least some of those forces. Maybe 4 of them? I don't know. The way the AI plans its attacks, they do have some ability to raids and to like alleviate their planets, but if they're going to attack a planet, it usually means that they are confident they can take both ground and space. So if you can make it less attractive for them in either mode, then even if it seems like, oh, well, they could just send a space force to wipe out whatever I have in space, they're still going to factor in whether or not they think they can win the battle afterwards. And especially since they just took Wayland, if we can cut off a part of their ground forces up there, then that calculus should change a little bit as well. So let's see. We don't want to move most of them. I'll throw these guys in here. And actually, I might want Livette. So I'll switch Livette for a light anti-vehicle, and hopefully that'll be enough. We'll move in there. We'll get some of these anti-infantry into that fleet. I'd like another fleet tender, I think, for this fleet. Because we only have the hero one at the moment. But we'll split up some of our heroes later, too. Because we have 3 per fleet right now. We could do 2 per fleet and have a slightly better setup, I think.
Tactical battle imminent.
All right. And again, we do want to go a little bit more defensive after we've taken 1 or 2 planets here. We want to build up our star bases and maybe some ion cannons and see how we can go from there. All right, Bahamut, Dragon Tails, Dragon Wagon, Nachi, Shield Popper. I'm not sure why we have double of them, but I will have to take a look at that. Royal Potato Freighter. What's happening here? Then Chelik and Alicia. So yeah, for anyone who is interested in still getting a ship into the playthrough, the links for that are in the description for the for people who are channel members here, Twitch subs, or Patreon or patrons on Patreon. But for anyone, like, there's usually a few people who get in having not seen any of the prior campaigns, so don't worry, those ships are not in the final release. The build bar isn't that messy and cluttered from them. It's just a way for me to thank the people who make it possible for me to have this job. So just gets people a bit more involved in these playthroughs. But let's get Livette involved in the conquest of Mercure, before they get a structure built. Alright, that hero, is that Palter Carvin? I think he has a Juggernaut either way, but I'm not sure if that is his name. So many heroes, I can't be expected to know them all offhand. It's unreasonable. Alright, so we'll put in light vehicles, heavy... I'm gonna save the artillery for now, actually.
Moving to that location.
And we'll get the infantry as well. I don't know that we're gonna be able to get over to this landing zone. Just based on the fact that it's already turning green. So we'd be assaulting that position.
Of course.
Roger.
So we might actually be better off trying to hold here. Because without a base structure, they're not going to be too inclined to attack us. Or they're not going to be as inclined to sit back. They're going to try to attack us. They're the complete opposite of the first thing I said.
Spreading out. Warm up. Right away.
I'll send these guys out because they can get back relatively quickly.
Copy.
We can take advantage of that mobility.
Fall out, troops.
Well, kill the puppies, I suppose. I don't want to have to kill the puppies, but horn scooters are
Attack. Reporting.
kind of problems if we're trying to walk past there.
Let's move out. Let's go. There they are. Keep going.
Alright. I got it right. I get points.
Over there.
So we might have actually been able to make it there if the Juggernaut isn't in it. Like, I try to be as accurate as possible with things I say in the playthroughs, but there's just so much content we have that's changing pretty regularly
What do you wish?
that it's
Awaiting your order.
without references on hand. It's sometimes
Moving out.
hard to be entirely confident in what I'm talking about.
Ready. Roger. We've got your back.
Because I was wrong about at least two things in even the Republic Guide video, but mostly related to airlocks. Where some stuff unlocks with, like, the research for Phase 2. And I said they unlock via air exchange, but they do unlock via, like, air start. But yeah, let's get our shields back. Pushed him out there. Where's Livette? Okay, Livette. You're in charge of shooting all them. I mean, the other thing I could have done is this. See what was going on there.
Awaiting your
So
order.
it looks like they didn't actually move the Juggernaut all the way back, but they also don't have too much support there. Okay, there we go. There it is. Livette should be able to handle that on her own.
Reporting. Target in sight.
And I think we got this too. Alright, infantry on there. Lighter mechs on there. And there's Carvin gone. We carved out his fate, I guess. Don't think about that too much.
We can start attacking. Targeting.
Okay, she should be able to hold her position here. They shouldn't be a threat to her. It may take her a little bit to kill them. Alright. And hopefully by next episode, or by Friday's stream, because the next recording session of this that's going to be live streamed will be this Friday. Hapens are going to be Fridays, Ariada's going to be finishing on Monday, and then we're figuring out something else to do on Mondays. But I will hopefully have the Commandos have their coding cleaned up a bit and have their model into this playthrough by then. I finished it just after starting the playthrough. And Inertial is actually working on another one of the House Infantry models right now. So he's hopefully going to have 3 of those done by release. Alright, where is the rest of our
Ready.
enemy?
Awaiting your command.
There's some. Okay, wait. Oh, shit. That's not going to help. Is that actually it? Is that all they have? There's a non-zero chance that's all they have. Nope, that is not all they have. Never mind.
Reporting.
We did have the money for a field base on this one and some other building, but
Yes.
I don't want to spend our money on that just yet when we're still only making like
What is
2 to
it,
3K
Commander?
per week.
If I must.
We'll assist you.
I go.
Acknowledged. Yes, Commander.
Talon Card's little base here is what this is based off of. For anyone who's read a little book called the Thrawn trilogy, it's 3 books. It's not actually one
Keep
little book,
going.
but and that was supposed to be more of a joke than like an elitist thing, because I feel like I might have just
What is your order?
insulted all the people who have not, in fact, read the Thrawn trilogy. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, killed him. Yeah. Well, it's not that funny. Hopes and
Awaiting your
dreams.
orders.
Kind of surprised the AI hasn't retreated yet from this,
Where's the next target?
but they should be close.
They,
Is that anti-vehicle turrets? Yeah. So let's go just kill those.
Reporting.
They definitely don't have a field base out there anywhere. Vehicle turrets out there, or vehicles.
Ready. Moving out. Roger. Attack that target.
See, that's what I was afraid of, that AA turret. We should be able to kill this before it can do any damage with through our shields.
Location confirmed.
And get our speeders out there too.
Course plotted.
Oh, there's people.
Order acknowledged. Coordinates received.
I have to assume you're the last people. Nope.
Right away.
I have to assume you're the last. Oh, there's even more over there. Yeah, they actually do have considerable infantry left compared to what we've brought in.
Adjusting now.
There we go.
System conquered.
Alright, so we want to get some government buildings here, I think. So let's get an all-gray house there, an all-gray house there, and we probably want... Who else do we have some... Maybe a Maluri one. There will be more effects to having loyalty with different houses in the future, but like different specific rewards for the houses. But for now, in the status of this campaign, and for most of point 2, it's going to be more about the more about the system lost.
Invasion commencing. System control.
I guess they were close to having that constructed. There we go.
On my way.
EAW weirdness, but let's now get deployed, and we'll have to keep an eye on our food and parts.
Complete.
But the next money we have is definitely going to an ion cannon. So we'll want to beef up that fleet a little bit. We'll save... Let's move you out. Because I was going to move Hesha out, but I think we want her heals. And we'll take Isolder out of this one. That'll be 2 fleet tenders over there. Like, we'll want to keep 2 of the fleet tenders with each fleet, I think is the goal right now. We want the ion cannon most of all. And is this going to be how far we go out? No, because we'll want to take probably Ethor and Karita, honestly, and hold those. But we are going to be opened up to Bandamir. Ord Mantell is another pretty decently defensible position, though. That's going to be reducing our... Oh, I don't think the influence calculates the Hapen secondary structures yet. So we might be in a little bit more trouble for where we're putting those. But we need parts and food anyways, so that should level off. So on Relifon, we'll have to sell maybe some defensive stuff to get food and parts. So for our influence, we're going to need to go with the main house ones. I think that's done. They haven't gone into Kashyyyk. I don't want to move too much out of these houses. Or out of these fleets. So maybe I shouldn't... Yeah, maybe I need to... I think I might need to put these back together for now.
Complete.
Do we have enough money to
Construction complete.
build one of these yet? No. We need another fleet tender. Okay, you know what? I'm going to move this one out. And I'm going to put it in this fleet so we can maybe do a Karita attack. Without risking anything. Without risking as much. So we'll get a slightly bigger battle in this episode too. We haven't had a big brawl just yet. Let's see what's going on Wayland. Okay, yeah, we did get some unrest. Aruba. We don't have that yet. That'll bring our influence back up. Let's see what they conquered the planet with.
Tactical battle imminent.
Got an ISD. Not going to be an especially big battle overall, but...
The enemy is approaching.
Oh, they have a couple things here. Never mind. Oh, I thought it was multiple ISDs. We got this. We have a much bigger fleet. Oh, and a raid fleet. And a hot plate. Okay, let's bring in Solace. And let's bring in Lovett. Solder.
En route.
Hamet.
Reinforcements en route. Reinforcements
Ginsburg. Dragon Wagon.
en route.
Imagine Dragon. Nachi.
Reinforcements en route.
Dragon Tails.
En route.
And we're going to try to take down this VSD before they get in. They do have some reasonable fighters. So... German name, Pocket Rocket. Item you to the Miss. And Jeanne d'Arc. And do we have... Are these carrier types? Yes, they are.
Ready for command.
Okay, everyone stop there.
Calling for me, sir.
Okay, let's get our fighters in. Into those bombers, actually.
Disperse. Ion cannons are the target.
And you guys on this side that are less threatened, do power to weapons.
Form up.
Well, I
Lasers linked and
target on there. You're less threatened right now, too.
awaiting order.
It's easy to have power to weapons just completely screw over your fleet if you were not using it responsibly. But I think in this situation we're okay. Oh crap.
Rendezvous at mark. Point one.
This shield popper? No, this is just a regular beta cruiser.
I'll try and draw their fire. Increase to full throttle.
Yeah, let's try to get over to the shipyard now, or the station. Well, that's not a terrible raid fleet. I thought there was some ISDs involved.
Attack formation. Yes, sir. Engage. Scanner contact behind me.
Okay, get them dead. Get going.
Stay in attack formation. Try not to let one on your tail. Yes,
Now
command.
let's get our bombers over this side. So again, the Hapen bombers and fighters, you do want to try to keep them a bit closer to your ships rather than trying to send them out to do most of your work for you, the way you might with the Pentastar alignments or the New Republic,
I'm hit.
because they have decent access to them, but it's not quite the same level as those factions. They're more like you want to use the fighters to keep the bombers off of your ships, while using your bombers to help hit the stuff your battle dragons are targeting. Because if they end up in too big of a kerfuffle, then you're not going to have a great time either. We're going into this without some shields. Let's get in on the bottom.
I've got a pick.
All right, the Imperial fighters have still gotten in there. Let's bring a soldier back in.
Ready for orders. En route. Attack.
All right, now over there.
Reporting in. Ready for command. Attacking the lasers. Ah! Picking up signal. Enemy fighter.
Okay, we'll just we'll throw on powder weapons now because I don't think there's anything in this that's going to particularly
Calling for
threaten our fleet when we have just the
warm up. I've got
tender
a
there either.
Ah! Scanner contact behind me. They're coming around. Loosen up. I've got a pick. I'm in range. There's one on me. Ah! Fire. That's it. Scratch one. Stay in attack formation. Increase to full throttle.
Okay, we are getting some heals out there,
I can't hold out.
but we're also, I think they're using powder weapons though on the VSD. And they're losing those weapons. So what are they going to do? Nothing. They got nothing.
Target's coming in fast.
Okay, bombers, get back over on that. Yeah.
Increase to full throttle.
We are victorious.
Copy. Attack
There we go.
that target.
Do we want to actually take the planet? Let's do it.
How about some backup?
Okay, we do have more money now. So we're gonna have those built back up. That'll take care of our unrest problems. Let's get our first of these three, Better Consortium and Corey Hodge states deep into streams before they're announced. That is sometimes true, but not something we're going to talk about. We do want to split this up into 3 fleets, ultimately. But let's also grab... What can we get for our other... do we want to move Touchum back to Hapes to build stuff? Maybe once we have a little bit more money, we will. We don't want to do all of our building in one shipyard, because the Hapen units do build slower. So let's get that one there. Get them simultaneously. That does cost us a little bit extra money, because we don't have the discount.
Construction complete.
You know what, before I do that, I am going to save, just to be safe. There's nothing more depressing than getting a bunch of good battles in it. Crash or something, so. Always save regularly. Always save in different slots. Don't save in tactical. That's just good advice for Empire War as well as for life, really. If anyone's telling you to save in battle in life, they're wrong. They're wrong, and I hate them. All there is to it. All there is to it. All right. Let's get them.
Invasion
Before they get it. Okay. Only one structure. Relatively small map where we're not going to be able to benefit from our watery ways, though. Well, we can go over this pond, I guess, but
What do you need?
this might be one where I
Choose your reinforcements.
It will be
do
done.
get the
Course plotted. Proceeding. Adjusting
field
navigator.
base. You know what, I'm gonna get the recruit
Beginning
base.
construction.
I'm gonna do it.
Awaiting instructions. I am waiting. What do you
Because they'll
wish?
have
I
some
will.
slightly more reliable
Artillery
anti-fighter.
online. Moving
You
to
know what?
position.
Go even further out
Moving
in the
to
water.
coordinates.
That's something you can do with your...
Enemy has been spotted.
It's about time.
Roger. Reporting in.
Ready. Awaiting your command. Moving to that location.
Alright, so yeah, all the house infantry that we have in point 2 will have their own models rather than all being the Royal Guard.
I'm here.
But for now, they are going to be
Scouting.
repurposing stuff.
Of course.
On my way. Roger that.
Okay, let's see what structure we got there. Nope, get over here.
On my way.
What is it, Commander?
That's the AT-AT.
Enemy vehicle factory destroyed.
Is it going to come back to us?
Form up.
We don't have our light hover mechs in.
Where's the next target?
We are in the process of thinking of some actual names for these guys. I think the sound effect on one of the smaller blasters isn't properly using that. The ATPTs are gonna help make up for our lack of
On the move.
the anti-light right now, though.
Instruction.
Affirmative.
I am waiting. What do you wish?
There we go.
About time.
Reporting in.
Like, the regular Hapen infantry do have their anti-vehicle blasters, but the Rakud have
Awaiting your command.
more of the things that give you at least more of the visual feedback that you're getting anti-vehicle damage.
Roger that. Awaiting orders.
It's not in range.
Moving to destination.
What is it?
Engaging enemy.
Come up there. We'll probably want to get out before the AT-AT gets in through here, but I do want to take out the field base.
Yes.
Or if they just keep going that way, then I will gladly run through them. Okay, you're Rakud, you don't want to do that.
Awaiting instruction.
How's the house battles though? At least you're distracting the AT-ST as well. Oh crap. Well, hold on. Kill this before it kills our infantry. Now kill the AT-AT.
Yes, sir.
And you can deploy?
It's about time.
Sweet. Let's get some more of them. Let's get some of the lights. I think we actually lost a lot of the ATPTs in that. I love ATPTs. They're my favorite. Used to not use them at all, but I don't know. That PA playthrough really made me appreciate them. A PA sheet. Yeah.
If I must.
Moving
What
out.
is my next objective?
Ready for action.
And you can just go around that way.
You have a plan. Attacking the enemy. Engaging. I go.
Yeah, the anti-infantry turrets do have some shielding on them now. So that's a new thing for point 2. It is something we saw in some of the Fall of the Republic previews, and that you've probably seen in Fall of the Republic if you've been playing Fall of the Republic. I'm always kind of curious whether there's any significant number of players who play Fall of the Republic but not TR. I know there are some TR players who don't play Fall of the Republic, but I mean, there's got to be some of each that go either direction, but I mean, proportionally, it seems like more TR who don't play FOTR. I guess if you're one of those, let me know in the comments, and maybe why. I'm not going to force you to, just kind of interested.
System
But
conquered.
I guess that's our comment question of the day, and that is our episode for the day. We should have one more coming out on Thursday before we have the Friday stream to record a few more episodes. But hope you're all enjoying the series so far, enjoying this early look at the Hapes Consortium, bugs aside or unfinished content aside. Thanks again. Hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone.